So now I've started working on the lathe. This is 1978 South Bend 13-inch lathe. Yeah, and you can see how worn these brass nuts are. Yeah, and this piece was damaged a little bit. I filed it. Now it slides nice and easy. Because this lathe was used in a high school shop. And I was able to remove the broken piece that was for this handle on the back of the tailstock. And what I did is I just TIG welded to it and built it up and then welded a nut to it and pulled it out. And now I can, let me see if I can even get one of those. Yeah, I bought this thread dial off of some guy and it was really bad. I just wire welded it off. Now I'm going to take it all apart. Yeah, I also got this carriage stop. It said it was for a 13-inch lathe, but it's really not. The only difference is this bracket needs about a 1/4 inch ground off of these and then it'll fit. Yeah, with the steady rest I wasn't able to find a 5/8 bolt with a square head, so I just welded a nut to it like this. And now it fits in here right. The bolt that it came with was only 1/2 inch. It takes 5/8. Yeah, I got these oil caps for the tailstock from McMaster Car. And I also got these type of oilers. The ball on there. And that's what goes here. On South Bend's parts list it doesn't show those. And there wasn't much left of it what came out of there. Yeah, I don't think this taper attachment's been used in many years. I had a hard time getting it apart. It was all frozen. Yeah, I also bought this rebuild kit on eBay and it comes in this book. Yeah, I got the taper attachment all cleaned up. Now it actually slides. Yeah, so now I'm working on the tailstock. And I've replaced these 2 little oil caps. And this one here, it takes a piece of felt that goes in there. And I was also able to get a new one of these spindles for it. It's in a lot better shape than the one I had. Yeah, I also got the correct oil off of eBay for it. Yeah, and this piece for the cross feed has been broken and welded back together. And somebody drilled an oil hole in the outside. It's supposed to have a groove in here with 2 little holes. And on the inside you can see the 2 little holes. So it looks like I'm going to be able to get another one. Yeah, I just got the crossfeed and compound nuts. These came from a company called Jayhawk Machine Tools and they're on eBay. And there's also a couple other people that make these. Yeah, so I got the compound back together and I just made a little socket to tighten that nut down. And on this I'm still waiting for this piece so I can't put the crossfeed back together. And I think I'm going to replace this threaded shaft too. The threads are worn just a little bit. So with a new nut on there it's still a little bit loose. So everywhere where there's an adjusting screw and another screw that tightens down against it, there's a little tiny piece of a brass rod in there to keep it from damaging the threads on the other screw. There was one missing from the taper attachment, so I just got this rod from Amazon and I'm going to cut a little piece and put it in there. Yeah, look how much metal's in the carriage. Yeah, and these half nuts are in bad shape. Yeah, I just got the correct carriage stop bracket and it's for that. This one here is for a heavy 10-inch lathe, and this one's for the 13. So if you have this one, you can take and machine off exactly 5/16 of an inch and it'll work. But I was able to buy this brand new, so I didn't have to do that. Yeah, I just got this 8-inch 3-jaw bison chuck off of eBay. And one nice thing about it is it has 3 places where you can put the chuck keys in it. It is about 25 years old. It was sitting around, but it is still brand new. Yeah, I also just got this 8-inch 4-jaw Pratt burner chuck. Yeah, it's in real good shape. I took it apart and cleaned it. Yeah, I replaced the hand wheel on the tailstock. And they don't come with that groove in there for the little pin to go. So how I did it is I took some 5/8 inch round bar And I stuck it through here where it was flush, and then you center punch it in between the round bar and the hand wheel and then drill it 1/8 inch. And they must have, at the factory, must have put every one of these on and then drill them after they're on. And even this one for the crossfeed doesn't have that groove in there. Yeah, and also these grooves in here are not drilled perfectly straight, so I kind of just had to guess and drill it a little bit crooked. Yeah, and here's part of the chip guard that went on the taper attachment. And I'm going to make one out of metal because you can't buy these anymore. Yeah, I got that much of it done. Now I just need to figure out how long this needs to be before I cut it off. And I just drilled through the other side and welded it. Yeah, I just got the follower rest off of eBay. These are not easy to get. Some of you out there probably bid against me. Yeah, I just sandblasted it. Now it looks a lot better. Now I've got to go buy one of these special bolts that go in here. Yeah, I just got the follower rust done. Yeah, now it looks a lot better. Yeah, I made a little T-handle Allen wrench to adjust the compound. Yeah, I just got this chip guard that goes on the back of this connecting bar for the taper attachment. Yeah, I started to make one, but then I was able to still buy it. And this is supposed to be a reproduction, but it's made to the original specifications. Yeah, I just took and painted the top side of this. And before, when I was going to make one, the basement shop guy told me the exact measurements. He has a 13-inch south bend lathe that he did up real nice, so go check out his channel. Yeah, I just got this piece. Yeah, it clamps on here when you're threading. Yeah, I also just got this 6-inch Bison 3-jaw chuck off of eBay. And I'm going to take it apart and clean it. And every time somebody ships me one of these chucks, they don't package it right and one of the studs gets bent. Luckily I had another one because these cost $57 a piece. Yeah, and here's what's inside of one of these chucks. And this one again has 3 places where you can put the chuck key in it. And I marked everything before I took it apart so I can put it back the same way. Yeah, so I got this chuck all taken apart and cleaned up and put back together. Now it works real good. Yeah, I thought there was something wrong with these bearings here on the cross slide shaft. And this is exactly the way it came up. This was the inside. All the thrust bearings on this are ball type thrust bearings, and this is a needle thrust bearing. Yeah, and here's what came off the other end. It had all these washers in here, and then the thin washer and the bearing and a thin washer and a nut. But all these washers, you can see that a bearings rode on them at one time. And after watching the basement shop guy's video, I know for sure it's wrong. Somebody replaced these bearings and the outside diameter is too big to fit in here on the taper attachments. That's why they spaced it all out. I was able to find the right bearings through MSC. They're 3/8 inside diameter and 11/16 outside diameter. And here's the part number. Yeah, and this spacer goes on the other end by the nut. Yeah, I just got this 10-inch faceplate. And the chuck key came for this other chuck that the guy forgot to send me. So then in this garage, I took the crummy cabinets out that were down here and I made my own. Now it doesn't block that vent that's down there. And this one I put the 2 extra lathe chucks, the faceplate, the steady rest and the follower rest in it. And I got these 2 cabinets at Lowe's and put them up there. And the one I'm going to put lathe stuff in it. And I got one of these LED work lights. I made the bracket that goes against the wall to mount it there. I also made one of those pieces of wood that goes, you can sit across the ways like John Mills did. And in this cabinet I'm going to put other lathe stuff. Yeah, and on this sandblast cabinet, this hose that went to the dust collector, it would just get full of sand because it just had a big hole in the inside. So I made this piece that goes in here. Yeah, now that works a lot better. Yeah, I just got a good deal on this drill chuck on eBay. Yeah, this is brand new, and the Morse taper part is part of the chuck. Yeah, and this is the brand name. These are the best chucks you can get. This other one that I bought on eBay used, I didn't realize it by the way the pictures were that it's got an adapter on it, so I'm just going to turn around and sell this one. Yeah, I also got these micrometers on eBay for $38. Three of them are Starrett's. This other one's a USA made one with some other brand. And I got the inside micrometers. Yeah, I just got a few more things on eBay. I got a bunch of these drill bits. These are the drill bits you use when you're using a live center. I also got these. I didn't realize these were that small when I bought them. And this drill chuck, it's used. I just sold it on eBay for $50 more than I paid. That hardly ever happens. Yeah, I just got a new old stock bearing on eBay for the live center. This bearing's still actually made in this country. And this old bearing, when you turn it, you can feel there's a little rough spot in it. Yeah, I just got this brand new on Craigslist. Yeah, it's a thread dial for a 13 to 14.5 or 16-inch South Bend lathe. And this guy, he kept lowering the price, so eventually I just had to buy it. And the bolt and the spacer are in here. So I guess I'm going to sell the used one that I have. And I also got this bracket on eBay. You mount this into an Aloris BXA tool holder, and a dial indicator goes on there, so when you're using a 4-jaw chuck, it's easier to get everything lined up right. Then I got this. That clamps in the chuck, and a dial indicator goes on there to align the tailstock, and then you put a blank Morse taper arbor in it. Yeah, it even says on the box that it was shipped to the original customer April 11th, 1977. Yeah, I just got a few more things off of eBay. And this is one of those dial indicators like that. There is one piece missing, which I've ordered it, that goes in here. And I got this type of dial indicator where things on the back. And I got the depth gauge. And here's another one of those type of dial indicators. It's the same thing basically. And I got one of these great big live centers. This is made by Bison. Yeah, I also got this drill chuck. And this is another real good brand. They're made in Spain. And this chuck is a 5/8 chuck, and the Morse taper part's part of the chuck also. But on the 5/8 chucks, it only goes down to 1/8 inch as the smallest bit you can put in it. Yeah, I just got a bunch of these Aloris BXA tool holders. There's an knurling tool. Now I just got to buy the tool post. Yeah, I didn't get any tools or parts today, but I did get these two books. And this one's like a reprint of a 1955 version they did in the mid-80s. I guess that's the only way you can get that. And I think the most current version on this one's 27. Yeah, I just got this carriage off of eBay for $225 shipped. And it's in much better shape than the one I had. Even the half nuts are in real good shape, but I think I'll still replace them just so it's as tight as possible. Yeah, I got this carriage all apart. It's definitely in a lot better shape. The other one was worn right where the shaft goes through here. The only thing I saw that's bad on this is this thing and then this gear, but I have another one that's perfect. So I'm just going to use the best parts and build one, and I'll save the rest of the stuff. Yeah, then I took a drill a hole in here for an oil cap. They recommend doing that, it says in the book, because I guess that felt piece normally gets ripped off in there and doesn't get oil, and this is the most thing that gets used the most, where the hand wheel goes on. Hey, and what I noticed about these aprons is they're worn in here on the small end where the clutch goes through. Yeah, you probably can't see that, but and I bought two used ones, and they're all the same way. So I finally broke down and bought a brand new one for $550. But what I've noticed with the Southbend stuff is the machine work's not all finished on everything you buy. Like the holes are not drilled in here. And when you drill these holes in here, you don't want to drill all the way through it or it'll leak oil. That's what one of the housings that I got was like that, and they drilled too far. I also ordered the half nuts at the same time. It was shipped from the same place at the same time, and on the tracking number it says that it was delayed due to bad weather. How's that possible? I guess that's how UPS is. Yeah, I did have somebody tell me to have that machined out and put a bushing in it, and the reason I didn't do that is this isn't very big in diameter, and it'd be real thin if I put a bushing in it. Yeah, I'm starting to put the apron back together. Yeah, it's a hassle to get all these pieces of felt in here right. Yeah, especially the ones on this worm gear, and it goes through down there. I just got the brand new half nuts. Yeah, I found a problem with these new half nuts. This little hole is drilled about 1/4 inch off. So I just put the old ones back on, the ones that I had one set that was in real good shape. Yeah, I'm going to send these back. Yeah, I finally got the apron back together. Yeah, I got the saddle, the compound, and the crossfeed back together. This shaft that goes in here, I don't have it yet. Keith Fenner's straightening it. And as soon as I get that back, I can finish putting that together. I took the quick change gearbox off and the lead screw. What I'm going to do is clean most of this up and put some of these parts back on here, because I don't have room to sit all this stuff everywhere. Well, I've actually made some progress. I got to go buy one bolt for here. And next I'll start working on the quick change gearbox. I also replaced this cross slide shaft. The threads are worn in the middle a little bit. There's a place called Miller Machines online, and they make those. Yeah, I just got this shaft back from Keith Fenner. He straightened it because it was bent just slightly. So go check out his channel. Yeah, and he also sent me some stickers. Yeah, so I got this piece back together on the cross slide. And it all works nice. And on the quick change gearbox, I'm going to replace this shaft because it's worn on the end, probably about 15 thousandths. And I've got the bushings and the one bearing coming for it. So now I'm replacing the bushings in this quick change gearbox. Some of them I bought through McMaster-Carr, and some of them I had to buy through this other company. I already got one of them in there. Then for these, to get the hole in here, you just drill through this. I've ordered a 5/32 drill bit, a real long one to do that. And the other hole in there you have to drill first. Yeah, I just got one of these Noga magnetic bases for the dial indicators through Enco. And I got a Cobalt 5/32 drill bit to drill through here, these bushings. Yeah, so I found there's a problem with this quick change gearbox. This shaft is bent 0.8 of an inch, so I got another one coming. And this oil cap for the reverse lever, which is right there, I just can't get the right one. So what I'm going to do is, I had one guy send me this one. I'm going to cut these two off and TIG weld it with silicon bronze together. Yeah, so I got those two welded together. I also ran a die over the threads. It's 5/16 32 threads per inch on this. And the original company that makes these oilers, they make one that's 1 inch long, that's 5/16 32, but not one that's 2.5 inches long. So I guess they probably special made these just for South Bend, and that was it. Yeah, so originally I was going to make this lathe video all one piece, but I'm having problems with this video camera and I don't want to lose any of the footage, so I'm going to make it in two parts. Yeah, because I've been filming this since February and now it's August, so I don't want to lose any of the footage. And in the next part I'll finish this quick change gearbox. I'm going to go through the headstock, replace the motor, and replace the bearings on that shaft above the motor. And I'm probably going to build a cart that goes underneath it with wheels on it where I can roll it around. And I might put some kind of a drawer underneath this chip tray that pulls out where I can put all some of the tooling in it.